Now, residents in South Australia are also experiencing heavy rain and flooding. Locals are mopping up this morning after the Gilbert River burst its banks north of Adelaide. And for the latest on this, Carolyn Winter joins us now from the ABC's Adelaide newsroom. Thanks very much. What's the situation with those three rivers that were expected to peak?
Yes, those three rivers are the Light, the Gawler and the Wakefield rivers north of Adelaide in the mid-north, and they were expected to peak overnight, which they did at around midnight. They peaked at 6 metres. I have just spoken to the SES though, and they tell me that the water has started to recede and is now sitting in the Gawler River at about 5.1 metres. So that's some good news, but a lot of assessment to be done by the emergency services still.
What's the latest on the residents who were evacuated from Stockport?
Around 15 homes were flooded at Stockport yesterday, and the government tells us about 70 residents have evacuated from there and have been sheltering in emergency accommodation nearby. It sounds like there is quite a bit of destruction from the flooding, and so the length of their stay is yet to be determined. The government will be briefed this morning and will be ready to hand out any other assistance that is needed to those people. There's also some surrounding towns that needed to leave their homes as well, so I think this might be far from over.
Yeah, we've seen pictures this morning of residents in pretty dire situations. Are there still residents without power?
Yeah, indeed there are. At the height of this, there was tens of thousands of people right across the state without power. ETSA, the service provider, have managed to get that down to 4,000. But the problem being there's been about 130,000 lightning strikes during this storm, and that's knocked out a number of the feeder lines which send the electricity straight into particular areas. So we've still got 4,000 without power this morning. Some of those, unfortunately, have been in the dark for the last 24 hours.
And Carolyn, what's been the response like from the emergency services and the state government? Has it been adequate?
They've worked tirelessly. The SES have been monitoring the situation on those rivers and in those towns since these storms began. They've received hundreds of call-outs and have done their very best to, deal with those in a timely fashion. The state government, as I said, is now being ready to be briefed after the SES hold their next meeting this morning, which is underway right now, and it'll be a case of damage control this afternoon, seeing what impact these storms have had and what the next steps are to try and fix the situation and get residents back in their homes.
And we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you very much, Caroline, for bringing us up to date.